Well, Martin, how does it feel to be back?
Gosh, right. I I had a séance last night with and in this séance was Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra, and both were really disappointed because I've made more comebacks than them. So please don't put that out, otherwise I get in a lot of trouble. But please, no, start again. All right, okay. That was a crap joke. Yeah. Okay, how does it feel like to be back? Yeah, I have to say, just every bit as strange as it was in the first time, and yeah, it's. I think if ever you needed proof of anything, we're in the results business. You have to win some football matches, and I've known that myself in my course of my career. So yeah, but it's in one aspect really nice to be back. I mean, other ones I genuinely do feel for a manager who has had little time to get his feet under the table, I suppose, put his plans across and things like that, So yeah, it happens, but I'm here now, so I'm going to see if I'll do my best.
What was the decision like this time compared to last time? You now know it'll be longer. You know it'll be until the end of the season. You also know what's happened to this team in the last month or so. What was the decision like this time?
Well, that's a good point. I felt as if I was like one of those supply teachers before. I'd come in, and now there's, my time looks as if it's going to be longer. But I will have exactly the same problems. If I don't win the football matches, I will come under pressure as well too. So I'm aware of that, and it seems as if it's a bit longer, and supposedly it's to the end of the season, but you have to kind of prove yourself. So I need to win some games as well.
I remember the last time you said the players probably need picked up a bit, confidence restored. I assume they are even lower now than they were then. Is that fair? How have you found them coming in?
Well, I thought. I mean, every new manager steps in and says, "Oh, the training was great today," and it was fine. It was fine. It was nothing more than fine, but lads are in decent spirits. We had a bit of a meeting here about 10:30 today, and I know honestly they genuinely feel as if they're in good heart. So naturally disappointed with the recent results and the way things have gone, but I'm just hoping that they're up for the battle ahead, and I'm sure they will be.
Martin, you told us the last time when you came back that you had a conversation with Dermot Desmond. He gave you 10-20 minutes to decide. Could you just tell us the process by which you're returning this time round?
Yeah, it's a very, very good point. He was to the point. He said, "Would you come in?" Again, I think that if you're going to look at a long-term appointment, I think then really perhaps if I can give him this time. To look at to the end of the season, for him to look at someone and that be the man that through thick and thin is going to lead Celtic on in the next couple of years. That's fine, and I think it was just essentially that. I was, regardless of the results here, you're still a bit surprised. You don't know what, and I don't speak to Dermot that often in that sense. But if that's what he wanted to do, and that's what the board wanted to do, then I was happy enough to go with it.
Just to be clear, Martin, was there another conversation with Dermot around?
Yeah, it didn't last that long, but neither did the first conversation. He put the ultimatum to me pretty quickly. But I suppose, having had, 5 or 6 weeks then, and having gotten to know the players, or most of the players, then it was probably in that sense a little bit easier for me to say yes, only because I kind of got to know them a bit. I was coming into something completely different the time before, not really knowing some of the players, and with them not really knowing me or anything like that. So it was again, it was fine, and I suppose deep down I wanted to do it.
It was just an instant decision for you, Martin. Was it just you thought, right, okay, the club is needing me in a time of need, I need to go back?
If you put it like that, there, essentially that's probably true.
Is it definitely just until the end of the season, Martin? Is that the way you're looking at it, or will you review it at the end of the season, see how you do, see how you feel, or how you approach it?
I wonder whether I would have the capacity to go and carry on. And also, I'm 112 next birthday, so I think time is kind of running out for me. But I'd be, I'd like to try and do well in it, and I think that, who knows what the board might think, but I would not be, and I'm serious about this, I wouldn't be thinking any longer than the end of the season for me, regardless of what happens.
Well, in terms of this season then, the conversation you had with Dermot, did you talk about targets? What are you coming in to do?
No, he didn't. No, just, well, what am I coming to do? I suppose, like most managers, come in to try and win some football games. But he didn't say about winning a league. We didn't have a long conversation, by the way. It didn't last that long. My conversations with Dermot don't last that long. But I would have assumed that he would. It is Celtic, and you have to fight back after adversity. So I would have assumed that you would want to try and close the gap. Rangers have closed right up alongside us. Maybe we could go ahead tonight. And so we've got a battle in our hands.
The team are obviously in a worse league position than when you left, lost that cup final. But do you still feel that you can go on and win the league and have success in the Scottish Cup and still progress in Europe?
Oh, right. That's
maybe just focus on the league.
An enormous task. Well, I think that I think it's going to be difficult, and I think, make no bones about it, there's less games to play now than before, and Rangers must have gained a psychological advantage there in that sense over us in that. But we still have to catch Hearts, and the way that Motherwell played the other evening against Celtic, they might well be the best footballing side in the league.
Martin, was it difficult you watching on from the sidelines when the team was going through a poor run under Wilfred, given the way you'd taken them?
It was disappointing. But some of the matches that they played in had that, for instance, had that second goal have gone in. I know it's ifs, buts, and maybes, and keep those out of the equation, and eventually the results are what it's all about. But there were moments in matches there, if they'd been able to score that second goal, you never know that things could have been different. You just need a little bit of luck, and somewhere along the way. And I look back at my time. I know it's a fairly lengthy time ago, but when I was at Leicester, couldn't win a game to save my life, and crowd, very restive indeed. That's putting it mildly. And I got a bit of luck away from Filbert Street, where we won 2 games in about 3 or 4 days. And ease the pressure. And I'd just come into the football job, or into the football club as well. So I understand these things. So got a bit of luck. We finally got promotion. It was great, and things went really brilliantly for me after that there. But it was touch and go.
Martin, Paul Tisdale's also left the club. How does the January transfer window work now? What role do you have within that? Is it going to be business as usual? Because I'm sure we spoke before about this team needing players in this window. We
definitely need to supplement the squad. Absolutely, no question about that. And I think that Sean, for instance, has been working in the background in certain things. I think he would get to know some players. It's up to me as quickly as possible, because eventually, I would like to be sitting here in front of you and saying, listen, all these players are my choice. So, and that's what I really like to do. So I don't have a great deal of time. But before, at a football club, when I was at Celtic before, I would be able to run the rule over players that I knew, players that I maybe didn't know, like Jos Vulgaren, for instance, way back years ago. But you take the chance on somebody who's an international player. So here, I will rely on Sean and Mark and Steve, their opinion on players, but eventually it'll be down to me as much as anything else. And or if they don't do well, I'll blame Sean. And if they do brilliantly, I shall take all the credit.
Are you aware of anything imminent, any wheels that were in motion before you came in?
You don't know that the young lad has joined us from Bournemouth for a start, and I obviously didn't know anything about that, and so that's really up to him now to gather a bit of momentum himself. hasn't played very much football. But from here on in, whatever we're doing, it's just a matter of, well, again, I'll reiterate, we need the players in and as quickly as possible.
Martin, you mentioned there about it's going to be a battle in the league. Do you now, with Rangers drawing level with Celtic, Hearts got a 6-point lead, do you now genuinely see it as a three-way fight for the title?
I naturally I do. I don't know what shall I say, the strength of the squad of, for instance, Motherwell or Hibs or something. I really don't know that there. Certainly I watched the game against Motherwell and they were brilliant against us, really brilliant in the game. So I don't know that, but Rangers obviously big enemies, and Hearts have got they've had momentum all season. They've been able to win some big games. So it is a difficult task for us, and but it's one that we've got 18 games still left, So
in terms of numbers coming in, Martin, do you expect it to be a busy one?
I would be hoping to it, if the board were to listen to me, then we would have about 56 players, So I will try and narrow it. We definitely know. I think you'd be aware of what positions that we need to strengthen in, and that's what we're going to try and do. But I don't. It's a difficult window, and in terms of buying players, things like this here, that'll be difficult. But we do need to supplement the squad.
Obviously, Dyson was quite close to leaving in the summer. Do you anticipate him still being here?
That's a good point. No, I've held this. I just came in last night. I don't know. I don't know what has happened since, but and I don't know. So there's little point in me saying, "Oh, he's really happy. He wants to stay here," and then tomorrow morning he's gone or something like this. I don't know. I'll have a word or find out what he is thinking, even if it's through his agent or whatever the case may be. But I think there was a bit of disappointment with him because the move didn't go through. I think it was to Wolfsburg, was it? I think in August time. Am I telling you something that you didn't know? Am I? Possibly. Okay. That never happened. That never happened. It wasn't Wolfsburg at all. No, absolutely. I think it was Augsburg. Was it? It was something else. No. Okay. Cut that. Oh. Okay. I think it was a bit of disappointment at the time, but he's got going. He's got going again. If you're asking me, I'd love him to stay. It'd be actually really important for him to stay if that's the case. But I genuinely don't know what has happened. By our next press conference, I'll be able to tell you.
Martin, there's an argument that perhaps the results didn't come under Wilfred because he tried to implement change too soon and the players didn't seem comfortable with it. For you, is it a point of getting back to basics in terms of a formation, a formula that you think that works?
Well, I hope I didn't try and change too many things that Brendan had in place. There's a couple of things that as all managers will have a way of playing or what they think is the best way that will suit the squad there. So I don't think that we try to change too many things. And also I'm pretty aware that at the time, it takes time for players to adjust. If it is a change of formation or whatever the case may be. But I think that there were times during the course, for instance, during our the number of games I had, that we did, in terms of moments of matches, we actually did change formation. And so as long as the players are happy with it and two understand it, that absolutely fine. So I don't expect to make too many changes. Probably want to maybe go back to what I thought maybe worked for us at the time, if indeed it didn't work before. But again, it is players. We can get bogged down with the systems and stuff like this here, but players can make things work. So, well, whatever system we do decide to go, just let's not have any excuses. Let's go and try and win.
Given the success you've had here, Martin, in your first spell and also when you came back recently, how much is this going to give the squad, the players, the club a boost by you returning?
I've got to tell you that I'm very anxious about it. As I've always been, But I'm anxious, and maybe in a sort of excited way. But I'm anxious. But that's me. I've got dreadful insecurity problems. So,
You said the last time it was the fear of failure that you were worried about. Is that
same thing?
Same
again.
thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd like to try and win if we can. So, and you've got 18 games, or hopefully 18 games. So I would try and win.
Martin, what's your message to the fans? Obviously, before you left, there was the AGM, a lot of protests. Things have possibly got worse since then. What would be your message to the fans?
Well, after that AGM, and I know I joked with you and said I won't be back for the next AGM. That'll be an absolute certainty anyway. But I'm never sure that messages from me to the fans means a great deal. It doesn't really. I would want to win, naturally. Very selfishly, I'd like to win for me. And would like to win for the players. And obviously I'd like to win for the football club. And the football club is the fans.
Just one on the transfers again. You said Sean's doing some work in the background. So just to be clear, will it be a case of Sean and the team identifying players and then presenting them to you?
I think there's a part of that. Yes. I may have to rely on Sean's judgment and Fozzie's judgment on certain things. Yeah, I might have to, and that'll be a problem. But no, I will. That might be the case, but I will certainly have a look at the players before they come in some capacity, but not just shots of them, like proper matches, even if you go through the 90 games. But that's my job, so I have to try and do that, but more quickly than before.
Are you confident, given that you're coming in at capacity till the end of the season, that you'll get the support when it comes to the expenditure on players in this window, which is notoriously difficult?
Well, strangely enough, I've never. Well, I'm a manager now, and of course, you if you could sign all the players that you'd want to have, it would be great. And it doesn't work like that. But I generally work within the parameters of the club. But I'd be hoping that now we're in a bit of difficulty. We we have to fight back, and I think that as I said to you, I'm saying to you, and I would say the same to the board, and I think we're all aware, and so are the fans, that we do. The squad needs strengthening if we can do. Now we might bring in some players that may not be that much better if that's the case, but that's up to us. But the nice thing about it, if we can get a few people in, I think the squad will benefit from it. I think that's the main thing. And if you sign an extra, let's say an extra midfield player or something, it's nice to have a bit of competition for places if that's the case. But it's no excuse, but we've had the injuries, the long-term injuries to the players, and I don't see. I was quickly speaking to the medical staff. I don't see an imminent return for any of the long-term boys now for a while. But young Johnson thinks he might be back maybe in March time, which is good news if that's the case. March is a long time for me, so I don't have that time.
How did your family react when you said you were coming back again?
Exactly the same. Honestly, my two daughters really, really delighted. Go for it, Dad. And my wife saying, "You'll mess it up," So, but she said that the last time, and she's claiming she didn't, but she did. So it's the same thing. But I think there's a real genuine excitement about this. So we'll go for it.
Did you have any conversations with Wilfred either during his tenure or when he left?
I had 15 or 20 minutes with him on the day after the Dundee game, so my Thursday up here, and it was fine. And I thought he was really a really fine man, and we might. I was not. I said I was not giving him advice. I was giving my opinion. If he was asking for it, and the conversation was fine, and it wasn't. It was not Wolford wanting to cut it short at all. In fact, if anything, it's probably me in that aspect. So no, it was really fine. He's got his own ideas, and I think that obviously he'd been naturally disappointed, but I think he will come again and be a really good coach and manager, whatever you call it these days. But yeah, my conversation was not that long, but yeah, I obviously wish him all the best at the time, and still do. So I have not spoken to him since, but I haven't fallen out with him.
The players, Martin, really had a connection with you when you came back for that short spell, and you'll be hoping that just continues for this next one for however long it is.
Yeah, we know it's winning. It's winning, and that connection is fine when you're winning, and it's when you're not winning football matches that becomes a problem. It's the same. It's the same in any dressing room at all. So the players are the most important people because they do the winning of football matches, showing a little bit of guidance if that's the case or whatever. I think it's well, it's strange enough in many aspects. My approach now to the players is a different approach I would have had when I started out in management. I would have been. I'm still reasonably aggressive. I'd be far more aggressive in earlier days. So maybe there was less to be aggressive about because we were winning. But I'm guided by them. They have to do the winning. So it's up to them, and obviously, up to me as the manager.